Hey, welcome into the Stinkin Truth Podcast alongside my partner, Mike Evans. I am Mark Schlereth. Thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe, listen, share, do all those things. We appreciate you. By the way, Vandal Weekend, we had Yacht Rock playing Vandal Weekend, and this was my reward. I named like 20 some odd songs in a row. You see this? 10cc. They almost got me on 10cc. Not in love. You remember that song?
No.
It was awesome. And so I mentioned 20 songs, 20 some odd songs in a row. The guys bought me a t-shirt. I just received it. 10cc. Check it out. You're going to love it.
Are they still in?
No. They're
still together?
I'm sure they're all dead.
I'm sure.
So anyhow, but shout out to 10cc. If you're still living, congratulations.
Or anybody out there covering 10cc.
If you're dead, rip. So anyhow, for my partner, Mike Evans, by the way, I came back from Alaska. Uh-huh. So I was out in Alaska. We did a podcast out there and I came back and we've done this before. We called it the Button Challenge. A couple of years ago, I was doing TV and, the neck button, I had to undo the top button because I couldn't quite get it done and just pull the tie up there. And the tie was pretty tight around my neck.
Let's just say that top button was screaming for help. If that top button could have spoken, it would have been like, help me.
You're right.
Help me.
And my top button was akin to Andy Dufresne when he was facing the sisters. There was a lot of pain involved in that top button. So we went on the top button challenge, lost some weight. So I come back from Alaska, Mike. And I decided that's it. We're going to put this, I'm going to post it. It's going to be video document right here on the Stinkin Truth Podcast. 28 pounds in 28 days. And I know what you're saying. You can't do it, Stink. It's impossible. It's impossible. Quit being a sissy. I'm going to make it happen. 28 pounds, 28 days. I came back. I stepped on the scale Monday morning, 270.3. Ooh. And I thought one of two things. Either I'm going to lose this weight or I'm going to try out for the Broncos.
Because I'm only about 25 pounds away from your playing weight.
I was ready to go.
Right.
I can get to 290 like nothing flat.
Right.
So anyhow, today, you'll be happy to know what today is Friday.
Yeah.
259.
11 pounds in less than a week?
Yeah, I had a lot of salt. I was a lot of salt. I was on a pescatarian diet.
You were retaining a lot of water?
Pescatarian is all fish, right? Unfortunately, it was all Swedish fish is what I was eating for weeks and weeks and weeks. Swedish fish. That does not count, apparently, as pescatarian.
No.
So I'm going to lose that weight. Hey, something we did here a couple of weeks ago, I explained entry points. I was talking about the Broncos and the running game. And I explained how important entry points are and how the Broncos were really making that an emphasis and trying to coach that stuff up, okay? And so I thought, you know what? Let's take out the Exos Thundercloud.
Oh, I love the
Exos Thundercloud. And let's show you exactly what I'm talking about based on Broncos film. So I'm going to get the Exos Thundercloud here. Okay. All right, we're going to run 18 handoffs strong. So they're going to motion the tight end across the formation, get them on the end of the line of scrimmage, okay? So that's the first thing you're going to notice. Here they go. Motion the tight end across, get them on the end of the line of scrimmage. All right, now here's what I want you to watch. This is the ball right here. You can see the ball right here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The inside hip of the tight end is 5 yards away from the ball, okay? So here's the double teams, okay? You're going to combo there. This is the zone, combo between those two guys and these two guys there. Okay, that's your zone. It's a great setup to run this. So I want you to watch the entry point on the grass, okay? So where was the ball? It was right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? This is where you should be entering. We're still pushing toward this hip of the tight end. Incorrect. So again, you should already enter right here. So if we stop this here, if you enter here, what do we got? Well, shoot. I mean, you enter right there, Mike. You've got this lane. You've got this lane. That's 10 yards, 10 yards. If you get all the way back here, man, that may be a house call. You got a cornerback that's got to get you. So ultimately, you go 2-3 yards too wide, And what happens? You turn a 10-yard gain into a 1-yard gain. All right, but watch this. This is the very next play of this carry, right? The very next play that he carries this ball, same look. Motion the tight end across the formation, okay? You still have a guy outside here lined up, and you've got a guy now lined up, head up over the wide receiver. Now you're going to get a pirate stunt here. So again, you look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, inside hip of the tight end, about 5 yards away. Now watch the entry of the back. They coached him up on the sideline. Watch where he goes. Right here, enter. So you're entering right there. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're entering. You see double pinch, you're off the edge. Now you can bubble in your one-on-one with this safety running the alley. Okay, so watch him. One-on-one, make that guy miss, and you got a 9-yard gain. It is awesome stuff what they were able to do right there. So that is the running game, and that is the importance of entering the ball, or entering not where the tight end ends up, but where he is on the grass. And that's the importance of entry points. You hit that first entry point, Mike, and we're talking about at least a 10-yard run on the first play of the game, maybe a house call. And I will tell you right now, and I know there's a lot of people out there that are fantasy football guys. I'm going to give you a fantasy football tip right now. R.J. Harvey is going to be a 1,000-yard rusher. If he is healthy, I guarantee it. I don't know where he's going to get drafted at. Certainly won't be in the first round, but I guarantee you he's going to provide 1,000 yards rushing and at least 6-7 TDs. I promise you right now. And there will be a rotation there for R.J. Harvey, but I'm talking about a guy that is special. And there was a play in this game where they have duo. He goes to the wrong side, total busts. Bo Nix turns around and goes, what? Like that, and he pops it outside, totally where it's not supposed to go, and picks up another 9-yard gain. That's something special. Like, you're going to coach that up, but the one thing he needs to learn from coming from college is not every run is a smorgasbord. Right. Sometimes you got to eat an appetizer. Sometimes you just got to take the 4 that's blocked for you. But if he hits that entry point and that first play of the game on 18 handoff, if he hits the right entry point, Mike, I promise you, that's a 10-yard, 12-yard, maybe a house call run.
Stink, that's fascinating stuff as a football fan. I think a lot of other football fans watching the same thing, to be able to look at it, especially from that angle, from behind the line of scrimmage, and being able to get a view of the all-22 there and see how the play is designed to go.
Right.
And then see how the responsibility of the back, because everybody did their job. Everybody did their job up front, but the rookie running back didn't recognize it in time. You could see how the play could have worked, but didn't. And then you understand, if coached properly, if these running backs figure that kind of stuff out, the kind of plays that can be made. But I think it speaks to just how intricate it is and how it's coached, and entry points and angles, and what a big deal it is. It's not just simply taking the handoff, guy reading the defense, and then go make a play. Right. There's a lot that goes into it. That was really good stuff.
The other thing I think you have to know as a running back, and this is what separates the good ones from the great ones, is you have to understand, like pre-snap, you have to understand where the problems are. And so pre-snap, when you have a guy that wide, normally you still have to read it, you still have to enter at the right spot, but normally that ball is going to automatically cut back. It's just going to happen because that guy's job is to set the edge. Well, now all of a sudden you've got, a condensed split, right? A guy that's in a close split as a receiver, and now a DB comes in there. And so now all of a sudden you go, oh, wait a minute now. Like, if you're really smart and you're thinking, you're like, okay, now I've got another outside guy, right? Another alley player there. So I could get pirate stunt from that outside shade on the tight end. In cut. So now what do? Now now there's a more of a potential of bouncing that thing outside. So the good backs really do it. But the key to me is entering in that same spot, not where the tight end ends up, but that spot on the grass where he was initially lined up. And in that first run, man, that's the difference, like I said, between 10, 12-yard gain, house call run, and the 1-yard gain that they got, or the 2-yard gain that they got.
Well, while we're talking about running backs, R.J. Harvey trying to get to the level that a James Cook is at,
Yeah.
and has been paid now by Buffalo. Any kind of hold in or hold out or drama surrounding James Cook is now done. He's been signed for an offense that is dominated by Josh Allen. Where does James Cook fit in all of it?
James Cook was, to me, he was the linchpin last year. He was the guy that made that offense go, the actuator of the offense. He was the dude that kept them on schedule. And so he's a very viable part of that offense. I think it was Brandon Beane, when they let go of their receivers last year and Stephon Diggs left, everybody was like, oh, what are we going to do? And this goes back to my hatred for wide receivers in general. But, this overvalued nonsense. So Brandon Beane, their GM, was like, hey, man, calm down. It's okay. We're going to build a football team around Josh Allen so he doesn't have to play on the high dive 24/7. And that's exactly what they did. They developed a run game. They used their receivers and their tight ends. And what ended up happening? And Josh Allen is awarded the MVP of the league. And yeah, he had 28 touchdowns and he didn't have the most yards he's ever thrown for, but it was efficiency, Mike. And James Cook is the guy that brought that efficiency, brought that ability to not only run the ball, to set up the play action, to create the big plays in the passing game, and then using Josh Allen in that capacity as well in the red zone to run the ball and to really exploit a defense with your RPO game and your zone read game where the quarterback becomes effective, even if you want to run occasionally in the red zone. This is where it really becomes prominent because there's so many 8-man boxes. Can we run some quarterback design, counters, powers, those type of things, which at 6'5" and 240, Josh Allen is completely capable of doing. I think it took them from being a quarterback dominant, like he's got to do everything for us, to making them a better football team. So for me, in a year where the running game really became a prominent aspect, it was like back to 90s football. Like James Cook was the guy that actually was the actuator of that offense that really made it go.
James Cook, a little over 1,000 yards rushing, almost 300 yards receiving. So we're talking about a good solid 1,300 yards from the line of scrimmage, 18 touchdowns combined between the two. So huge part of this offense. Good news for Bills fans seeing James Cook get done with and now happy and ready to go for the season. Always good talking about quarterbacks. Jordan Love, a lot of expectations for Packer fans out there for Love this season. He's got the surgery on the thumb on the non-throwing hand. What does it all mean for him and the Packers?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. They say, oh, he'll be back for week 1 and all that stuff, and I'm sure that he will. But, Mike, that's a button. Like, that's a button. That thing's going to bother you every time you take a snap. Like ball security. Because you're going to have it wrapped, right? And part of ball security for a quarterback is you're holding that ball. You're moving in the pocket. You're doing those things. If you're Jordan Love, like that would concern me. The other thing is if you're holding that ball, what defensive players are taught. This is something that Von Miller taught me. And I'm talking to Von Miller. This is several years ago, just about pass rushing. And he said because of the rules, the way the rules are written in the National Football League and the protection of the quarterbacks, he's like, I no longer sack the quarterback, I sack the ball. I'm just trying to hit the ball when it's in the quarterback's hands. So if you get it out of the quarterback's hands, if you dislodge it from the grip, that's a sack. Now it's ball on the ground, let's go get a fumble, sack, fumble recovery. And so like every time you've got that ball and you're trying to secure that ball, elite level pass rushers are going after the ball, not so much sacking you. And that concerns me. Ball security concerns me. Like, how much does that thumb bother you? One thing I know about playing in the NFL is when you got an owie, when you got a problem, dude, it gets hit. Like that's why I call it a button.
It's like a neon sign,
right? It's that it's that emergency button. They used to have at Staples. You have to hit the button every time you got an injury. There's a button. There used to be this theory that I adhere to. I live by. I used to call it dueling pains. Like, you could have a knee that's driving you crazy, and it's all you can think about. It's like, oh my God, this knee's killing me. And all of a sudden you hyperextend an elbow, and your elbow's freaking killing you. You're like, you don't even think about your knee anymore. You're like, oh, my freaking elbow, man, how am I going to play? My elbow's killing me. You're like, hey, wait a minute, my knee feels great. Like, what happened? So you got a button, man. Like, that button's going to get pushed.
Yeah.
It's going to get pushed. So especially early in the season, I would be really concerned, ball security, handing the ball off, all the different things. Hey, are you going to take zone read out of your system because you put both hands in there, you read it in the belly? Like, little things like that eliminate some of your offense. And then you start thinking about, hey, Detroit, like, do I think they're still going to be good? They've had some injuries, tons of injuries last year, a few in the preseason so far. But do I still think they're going to be good, or the class of that division? Yeah. NFC North? Yeah. Will Chicago be better with Ben Johnson? Yeah, absolutely. Minnesota right now, they're raving about J.J. McCarthy and what he's doing with Minnesota and that offense and that defense, right? All of a sudden, you have a couple turnover issues. All of a sudden, you eliminate 30% of what you are as an offense because you're protecting your quarterback's thumb. Do you fall out of the race early? Like, that would be a big question for me if I'm a Green Bay Packer fan.
Well, the good news is it happened at the right time because, as Love said, had this happened during the course of the regular season, I'd be just trying to play through it. And now all those issues that you're talking about really rise to the surface. Mm-hmm. But as he said, I decided, hey, it's the preseason. Let's go get it done now and be ready to go for the regular season. Right. So maybe from a timing standpoint, it's not the worst thing. Go get it taken care of so maybe it's not a button issue throughout the entire season.
Yeah, you hope. I think it will be early in the season. Yeah. The other thing you start thinking about, I think this defense is really legitimate, but I think one of the other things you start thinking about is offensive continuity. We haven't gotten a lot of reps together, right? He's going to be out having this surgery and doing those things. So then is it, hey, we get to the first, second week of the regular season, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, man, offensively, we're off track a little bit. So I think that's something you got to worry about as well.
J.J. McCarthy, to me, this is one of the fascinating stories of this upcoming season. A highly touted rookie, went high up in the draft, went ahead of quarterbacks like Bo Nix. And he was the fifth quarterback taken in that class?
Yeah, the fifth, and Bo was the sixth.
And Bo was the sixth. But there was some thought leading up to the draft that JJ could go higher. He misses the season with an injury. Now he's being given the keys to a really good football team that won 14 games last year. Right. So what are the realistic expectations? I know they're saying good things about JJ in Minnesota, but you're still basically effectively talking about a rookie quarterback. I know C.J. Stroud. I think that's what they're counting on, right? Is that the comp that Minnesota Viking fans are hoping for, that J.J. McCarthy will be C.J. Stroud and you could still continue to have the success even with basically a rookie quarterback?
Yeah, I think one thing, I think Kevin O'Connell does a phenomenal job of creating offense. And one of the things I think he does a really good job of is taking a concept. Taking a concept like a sale concept or whatever, and dressing it up 6 different ways with motions and with all these different looks. And, one guy's the clear, the other guy's a sale. Then we do it again from a different formation, different personnel grouping, and somebody else is the sale, and somebody else is the flat, and somebody else is the takeoff player. And then we mix it up and we motion to it and we change who it. And so for you as an offense, for the quarterback, it's always the same thing. We're just clearing out and we're trying to hit the sail, and we got the flat if the corner sloughs off, right? So we've got the concept and we know what it is, but to the defense, it's one play to us as an offense. To the defense, it looks like 7 different things. And I think O'Connell does a really good job with creating that confusion defensively while making it so simple for the offense and the quarterback. And I think he does a really good job of that. I think one thing that I said consistently when I studied J.J. McCarthy coming out of Michigan was he was the most pro-ready. You remember me saying this a bunch, because of the offense that he played in Michigan under Jim Harbaugh. And so he was the most pro-ready guy because they did the most pro-like offense, right? And the most kind of concepts coming out. And right now they're talking about his accuracy. As a matter of fact, he's not going to play in the second preseason game. Why? Because he diced it up against their inter-squad scrimmages, their practice against the New England Patriots. So they're like, hey, dude, like, sit out. We're good. So I think if you're a Minnesota Viking fan, it's really promising news for Viking fans who, let's face it, the Vikings seem to be flirting a little bit with Aaron Rodgers. They seem to be flirting with, they were trying to re-sign Sam Darnold. So there was enough internal consternation on who our quarterback's going to be that at least they had, internal conversations about, should we keep Sam? Should we go after Aaron? Should we do some of these things? They settled on J.J. McCarthy. It looks like it's going to pay off for them.
Let me see if I can remember this. A second-year Michigan quarterback who didn't get to play much in his rookie season, but takes over a pretty good football team with a pretty good core around him and goes on and has unbelievable success. Who was the last Michigan quarterback in that situation? Yeah. That's right. That was Tom Brady. Tom Brady, people forget, his rookie season in New England, hardly played at all, just kind of sat and watched, took over second year, won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, with a pretty good football team.
That first year, he was the fourth quarterback. And they liked him so much. The owner liked him, the competitiveness, that when he get one or two reps in practice, that's all he would get. Man, they were one or two of the best reps they'd seen that whole time. They kept on the active roster 4 quarterbacks, which was unheard of at the time.
But the point being,
he was the fourth.
He didn't get that many reps in his rookie season, and it obviously wasn't that big of a impediment in year number 2.
No, he turned out to be okay.
I think he turned out to be
Tom
okay.
Brady turned out to be good.
Viking fans, you can hope for the same with J.J. McCarthy in year 2.
I think we'll get him on the podcast, you think? Tom Brady?
Sure. Boy, that'll be.
I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know. I don't know how many.
I don't know if you'd be able to keep it together.
Well, that I probably wouldn't. And then 2, like, how am I going to get to him? That's like, we talk about the 6 degrees of separation of Kevin Bacon. How far am I removed from Tom Brady?
Come on.
Like, I know guys.
Oh, you got Tom's number?
No, I don't have Tom's number.
But you know people who have Tom's
Gronk's number.
Oh, well, then that's the same.
Hit Gronk up, say Gronk.
Yeah.
But once I task Gronk, can you hook me up with Tom? Gronk would be like, yeah, no problem. And then instantly forget it.
Yeah, that's true. Do you have Jules' number?
I don't have Jules' number.
That's the number you got to get.
I got to get, maybe if I go through Gronk to get Jules' number, hit Jules up to get me Tom, first I'd have to ask Jules to come on the podcast.
Which I'd love to do.
Right. So we get Jules on first. Then this is pipe dream stuff.
We'll make it happen.
I like it. Our subscribers, they don't want to hear from Jules. They want to hear from us.
True. That breakdown of the running game was awesome.
All right. Well, good.
That's awesome. Let me tell you something. Just as a football fan, we geek out on shit like that.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Trust me. That's good stuff, right?
Trust me.
And the entry point stuff with the visual makes a little bit more sense,
Absolutely.
Correct? All right, good. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Hey, by the way, did you know, this is crazy, I just read this, that the preseason game for the Chargers, this upcoming preseason game this weekend, is going to be the first snaps that Justin Herbert has ever taken in the preseason.
He's never taken a preseason snap?
Never taken a preseason snap. His rookie year was COVID, so they canceled the preseason. And then he had such a great rookie year, record-setting rookie year, they didn't play in any of the previous years. So Jim Harbaugh, coach of the Chargers, is putting Justin Herbert out for his first preseason snaps.
Well, hey, terrific regular season quarterback. Still has a lot to prove in the playoffs, so maybe doing something different this year.
That's right.
Makes an impact come January.
And we shall,
February.
Yeah, we shall see exactly how that works out for Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Hey, for everybody involved in the Stink Truth podcast, thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Please make sure you subscribe and do all those things. We appreciate it. Growing like a weed, so we appreciate you guys so much. We'll be back with you next week. I'll be live from New York City. Mike will be right here in this chair like he always is. We'll talk to you guys then.